Joanne. This is the Turtle Stack, where I talk with guests about topics they love even though I don't know much about it. We use two guidelines, no slamming, no selling. So we do our best to keep focused on the positive instead of tearing something down and without pushing agendas. We just want to focus on having an open mind to something new and building up the things we enjoy. Let's get into it. So today I am here with Iris. What are we going to be talking about today, Iris?
Hello. We're going to be talking about K-pop and BTS.
Now, I don't know much about that genre aside from that it's Korean pop music. So can you kind of tell me and others roughly what's involved there?
Okay, so basically starting from K-pop, K-pop is a genre that encompasses Korean music in a very general term. Now, of course, there are subgenres to Korean music like Korean hip hop, Korean R&B, and Korean indie music, Korean rock, and the very well-known Korean pop.
So how did you first stumble upon K-pop?
For me personally, I stumbled upon K-pop 10 years ago. It's just very coincidental. One time I was going through the TV and I came across this music video that they show between programs. It's kind of like a program break.
Okay.
And I stumbled, and what I liked about it was it's very colorful and vibrant, and people normally dance. Like usually in every Korean music video, you see a very organized choreography along with fashion and makeup and things like that. So there's a lot involved in a music video. I liked the music, even though I didn't understand the language. Just kind of clicked.
That's really cool. So K-pop kind of stands out because it's not just singing. They incorporate the dance, the fashion, and things like that.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you would say kind of like epitomizes K-pop or sets it apart from other cultures' popular music?
They usually look up to Western artists as a guideline or as their idols. They take the recent trend and they try to sort of emulate it in a sense. But Korean music in of itself is very different, and the sounds are very much more traditional, and they do have their own genre, which is called trot. It's quite the quirky, traditional kind of music that usually older people or people with very strong vocals perform. The musical industry is completely different from America, that's for sure, because Korea as a culture is very different. They're very community-centered. Individualism is not that big of a deal there. Entertainments in Korea usually adopt groups, as in they release groups together because they are cheaper to promote as a group than they are to promote as soloists. There are groups that can reach up to 9 members. There's 13 members. It depends.
So with that large of a group, I would think it would be hard to keep that many people together and happy for a long period of time. Do members kind of drop in, drop out, or given the culture, is that not as big of a concern?
Members do drop out, and not only can they drop out, but many groups would just disband completely because there's either low funding, low promotion, or they just didn't make it.
So your favorite, probably the most popular one that I've heard about is BTS, correct?
Yes, that's true.
So when about did they have their startup?
BTS had their debut in June 2013, and they work under Big Hit Entertainment. They started out as a hip-hop group comprised of 7 members and still continue to be 7 members.
Is it the same 7 members?
The same members, yes.
Wow. For 7 years, that seems really impressive to me.
Very impressive. And they are well known for being really close brothers, which is something that is not easy to establish.
They're not actually related, though. They're just brother-like.
No, absolutely not related at all. In fact, the members are all from different places in Korea.
Oh.
Yeah, like they're completely different dialects, different subcultures, and nature in a sense. So you have 2 members that are from Busan, two others are from Daegu, and The other two members are from different places in Seoul, and they all have different dialects and accents. And the last one is from Gwangju. Funny enough, before they had their debut, BTS has a set of members that make up rap line. These members are three. So one of them is from Daegu and one of them is from Gwangju, and they have completely different accents and dialects. And the thing is, within Korea, there are many conflicts regarding dialect. A Seoul person might not understand what a person from Daegu is saying, and vice versa. So it's almost a different language. So
Wow, I had no idea about that.
these two members kind of decided to make a song about these issues, these interdialect conflict and stuff. So the positive thing that these boys have done is they made a song highlighting that conflict in a very fun and very active sort of way. It's very energetic. And then they released that song, and it garnered enough attention that the media covered it, and it was very impressive for a group that has not even had their debut yet.
Oh, so that song was kind of before they were known or they were like discovered.
Yes, and it was even a reason why some members decided to join that one company. So that made quite an impact, and who knows, it might have been the reason that BTS have come together and stuck through this far.
That's really amazing to have a band whose entire group whose entire origin is a song that basically was like political commentary and culturally relevant. That makes me really happy to hear.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why. And I feel like sometimes I think to myself, maybe I stumbled upon K-pop just for the sake of stumbling upon BTS, because their music always has a certain goal. Their method of making their music is basically creating an album, then making sure it's the big story. From the beginning, they've had kind of mini series. So they started in 2013 with the school series, with a commentary on their system. The Korean system is very education centered. So it's quite grueling, in which you have high school in Korea and then you have to go to cram school right after. Korean students spend more hours studying in average than Western students. They speak against that by saying, "Oh, this is the system, but you tell us to do this later, but you only live once," and something along that line. And they started that with No More Dream, which is they highlight the focus of society on big money, big cars, big house, but actually I don't have any big dreams. Is That's literally from an excerpt from the lyric. That kind of speaks to a lot of people. Like, it spoke to me because I was a high school student back then as well, and throughout my school years they were also doing school themed songs. I always felt like I've been growing up along with them.
Yeah.
It's a way of gaining strength in difficult times, you know?
Mm-hmm.
For example, when I feel like giving up and things like that, I'd think to myself, BTS have made it this far, so why can't you go make them proud? I have made it this far, and I owe it significantly to them. And that's why I'm a huge fan, and becoming a BTS fan was my best decision. I will never regret it, because honestly, I think they are really amazing people and they deserve a chance.
To find anybody, much the less a group of 7 people, that not only are putting out music that you like, but when you look at them on a personal level, you find things to respect and admire. Like that's really impressive.
Yeah, that is truly impressive. It's not something I expected to be doing. Even under the genre of K-pop, BTS is an exception in many ways, is that they tackled many taboo topics, including depression, and they were never hesitant to say that they wanted to give up at some point, and they have exposed their innermost thoughts and feelings. To me, that is something incredibly brave, and that's something I aspire to be.
I do think that a lot of artists and creators tend to try to sweep that sort of stuff under the rug. they just try to show you like the final product. But to be able to see, like, we went through rough times to get here is important to people.
What sets BTS apart in that regard is because most of the members are involved in the music making process, which is very different compared to other music industry entertainments within Korea, actually. Right now, it's becoming a lot more common, which is amazing to see. But back in 2013, when they first joined, that was not the case. Noting that BTS started from very, very humble beginnings. Their entertainment, Big Hit, started off as a branch label to another bigger company called JYP. Back then, the CEO, his name is Bang Si-hyuk, so he has helped the boys in many of the music that he's seen, and he's been their guidance. And compared to many CEOs I've seen and many bosses in the past, he's by far the most connected to his group. He's pretty much the parent figure for BTS, and he's as a result helped these boys grow into amazing musicians and amazing people.
Honestly, that's probably a big part of why they've been together for 7 years, is because they've created a healthy environment where they're open to talk about things. They're being allowed to express themselves and deal with these issues in a healthy manner.
Personally, I really, really love the way BTS loves each other and the way they stand for each other and comfort each other. That is very good. And being a person that has been criticized for being different, that's why through them I've been able to become stronger on my own. But at the same time, I've also been exposed to how toxic I used to be and my personal flaws back then. And I've decided to become better by learning with them as they go along, because they're each member is like from completely different backgrounds. It's insane. So to see them getting along so well, it's incredibly awesome, honestly. And I think a large part goes to the adults that have been very kind and open to them. And Big Hit has started from, I said this before, that they started from humble beginnings, to which even at 2015 when they released a music video, they had their own staff, like their own stylists and cameramen, participate as background actors or backup actors for this music video that they were shooting. So that's how underfunded they were. But it's a very rags to riches story. BTS was the underdog. From being underestimated and from being humiliated many times, they have grown up to become a brand name. They have spoken at UNICEF, and they have become a message of hope to many young people around the world by promoting self-love and promoting self-exploration and promoting acceptance. They even have a charity organization with UNICEF called Stopping Violence, Stop Violence. It's against child abuse in domestic settings. So they have gathered many donations through that charity, and many of the fans have done amazing things in their name, like RM's birthday. Many members, they planted around 1,000 trees.
Wow.
And along with many other things, usually we donate when it comes to birthdays, and we donate in crises. And other fans in another country, they have volunteered by themselves to pick up the trash around the concert venue that they had after the show. They have done amazing things, and honestly, it's great to see that BTS have exposed all the good people. You see things like that and you think, my faith in humanity is restored.
To have built up a community that focuses on the positive and is looking to give back, and that's a really big accomplishment.
Yes, you're very right.
That's really awesome. Now, I do want to touch, because at the very beginning, you said when you first came across K-pop, you did not speak Korean.
Yes.
Throughout this, you've mentioned numerous times that their lyrics are powerful and, they're about topics that relate to you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you speak any Korean now, or do you just look up translations?
Well, I still look up the translations, obviously, because I'm not very fluent at it, but I am learning. the other thing that I want to touch upon is that their music is quite poetic, and they kind of use certain rhymes and certain expressions that are very artistic. So it's not something that a beginner or intermediate Korean learner might catch easily. So there's a lot of smart puns or smart insertions in certain places that makes the song quite the more amazing. That's why their fan base in Korea is very strong too. It's like an eloquent way of speaking. So when a new member is set to release music videos or a new song, we're always ready and we listen. And there's, of course, the usual freaking out and fangirling, basically. That's what everybody looks at when they see, oh, BTS fans, the BTS army. Army is our fan club name. So, like, oh, all they do is freak out over BTS, right? But, like, in reality, then after we are done freaking out, we'd be looking at the translations about the lyrics, and we'd see these translations and they would speak to us, and then we listen to the song again and it hits even deeper, if that makes any sense.
I think it makes perfect sense.
Me as a person, I always feel like there's always something deeper to anything, and I think that is what BTS is trying to ingrain into us as people, that to look deeper into things and not be afraid of diving deep. Now, one thing I'd like to point out is, like, we're in acronyms. ARMY stands for Adorable Representative MCs of Youth. It makes sense, but the thing is, now people associate with, being a literal army of people and stuff like that, but we are MCs of youth, many talented and smart members of the community have compiled interesting elements, have made theories, and because of this, we have created the BTS universe, which is kind of like a huge story that has become serialized because of these theories. I think our theories have inspired big hits to franchise BTS's music as something that is deeper than just music. Because starting at 2015, I believe, and onwards, there has been a series called Hwayangyonwa, which is the best moment in life in Korean.
Okay.
And these best moments in life have like a 3-part series, and we've started creating theories around that time. So 2016 Wings album was inspired on Herman Hesse's Damien, which is a book that has been widely read in Korea, and it speaks about youth. And as I have read the book because of BTS and have been exposed to that kind of content, it's quite mind opening, but it's very confusing, and it makes you ask questions and explore things that you never thought would explore. So the thing about BTS is that they have opened room to knowledge that usually schools themselves don't open that door to. It's like kind of giving you a way to figure things out for yourself, you know? So because of that, we started doing theories and we started analyzing things. So they have become aware of that. And now every time they shoot a music video or every time they do something, they would comment on how they are excited to see what kind of theories the fans will come up with next.
So, like, in addition to just enjoying their music, it actually has helped you kind of discover other things that you wouldn't have looked into otherwise. And it's neat that it seems to be two-way communication. Like, you're obviously inspired by their music, but then they turn around and they're inspired by the theories and the world that you've created around them.
Yes, that's true. They've often said that, oh, we love you, army, and stuff like that. They have expressed their love for us numerous times. They often even get really emotional during their final world tour stop or things like that. And I think one occasion I'd like to mention is that when they first performed at Wembley, which is a huge stadium in England, they have a song called Young Forever. And that song was released back in 2015 that started the series, and it's about youth and their problems. So it was not on the set list. So usually when they are done performing certain songs, they'd like to have fan time, and they start playing certain music in which they interact with the fans by going around the stage, going around the stadium, and throwing water and singing and doing fun stuff and bouncing around like they do. What happened was the song suddenly changed. And even the members were like, how did they change it? What was going on? And they were so confused at the time. And it was funny to see their confusion at this time. But then the song started and the fans started singing along. This is like the one occasion where the fans actually took the concert away from them. And they just sat there and stared at us. And so they started singing along, or trying to actually, but many were overcome by emotions. And the people who have gone to that concert will probably be the most memorable moment for them as an experience.
Yeah.
I hope they remember it and know that we are all by their side as people that love what they do and love them for them and will accept them as humans and also as idols and what they like to do.
Oh, that's really, really beautiful.
Well, I think I've said pretty much everything I wanted to say so far, and what I'd like to convey through this interview is that, first of all, I'm very honored to be given to this opportunity to talk about something I've really loved. And what I'd like to encourage is for people to give things a chance, and new experiences are never bad. In a sense, it's a good opportunity to learn about something, and just because there are certain music in different languages doesn't mean that they are any less than other songs out there. So basically is like BTS says, love myself and love yourself. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, BTS is the best. Woo!
Perfect. If you're interested in following me, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as The Turtle Stack. If you have something you want to chat about, please email theturtlestack@gmail.com. I don't need an expert, just someone who enjoys something, no matter how simple or eccentric. If you're excited to talk about it, I'm excited to listen. Just remember the rules. No slamming, no selling. Thanks for listening.